I've always tried to adjust myself around academics and leadership. So when I go here, it wasn't something new to me. You get it. I had to find my ways and means and the position and orient myself on. And it was good.
They will tell you this and then they'll start making themselves look good.
Oh, no. I'm just being realistic. I mean, yeah. In as much as you should be optimistic, I mean, I think you should also be a realist as well. Yeah.
Okay, I will take it with.
You have to. You have no choice, actually.
Welcome to Youth Wave. My name is Sumi, and today we are at the Fawn Cafeteria, and I have with me here Jerome and
Kwasilama.
So you can come and then you can try out their foods and drinks. They have their signature drinks as well. You can come and try it out. Yes. I think it would be very fun if you introduce yourself.
Well, I think you mentioned Jerome already. Oh, okay. So my name is Isaac Asamoah Jerome, but I mostly go by Jerome. Yes.
Well, can you tell us, you are a student politician, right?
For sure. I am.
So can you tell us the position you are going for? Just formalities.
Well, I'm running for the office of the SRC president. Yes.
And which year are you in right now?
I'm currently in my final year, and I'm in the Department of Petroleum and Natural Gas Engineering. I'm sure you didn't ask that, but that is additional information.
Thank you.
Sure.
Very
Yeah,
much.
sure. All right.
Yes. And so have you held any positions on campus before that? I mean,
Yes, I think I had opportunity to hold a position in the 2021-2022 academic year where I served as the SRC welfare chairman. Exactly. I've started this way back. In fact, I mean, the road has been quite lengthy, but yes, so welfare chairman is a position I've held here in UMaT.
You said 2022, 2021?
2022.
2022?
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's like 3 years.
That's like 3 years, yeah.
Okay.
That should tell you I started a long way. Charlie.
Oh, okay. But you are still in your final year?
Yes, I'm in my final year. I mean, you should understand. You know where I'm coming from.
Oh, okay.
Okay. The road is, I mean, I started way back.
But I would be very glad if at least you could enlighten us a bit.
About, some of the things I did or the pathway.
Yes, on the pathway.
Well, I think when I came here as a first year student, honestly, that whole politics energy started way back. Okay, way back. So when I came here as a first year student, I started the whole student politics, got myself really into it. And it was working. So I joined a particular team, and fortunately for us, the efforts didn't go in vain. We won the election, and because of me being or playing a pivotal role in it, I won't say a juicy appointment, but I had an appointment that I was actually an integral member of the SRC. So at my time then, Esikado campus was not divided as it is right now. Esikado campus was part of the Takwa main campus. So I was a welfare chairman for both the Takwa main campus and then the Esikado, that is the Takwa campus as well. Exactly. So that has been the whole thing, yeah.
can I ask, you said you started it when you were in first year.
Yeah, first year.
That would have been very challenging. So how were you able to, mix academics with the politics?
Yes. Normally, I would say that it's supposed to be challenging. But one thing is that I've been doing this whole student politics for quite some time now. You know, I had a chance to hold a position. I was a senior most boys prefect in GHS. And I've had a chance to also do extracurricular activities. I was an adolescent reproductive health ambassador way back in my constituency, at Atebwamati constituency. And then I went to SHS, I got into prefectship, became a senior boys prefect, became an SRC president, was also an ASRC executive at Ashanti region, zone 4. So I've always tried to adjust myself around academics and leadership. So when I go here, it wasn't something new to me. You get it. I had to find my ways and means and the position and orient myself on. And it was good.
They will tell you this and then they'll start making themselves look good.
No. I'm just being realistic. I mean, yeah. In as much as you should be optimistic, I mean, I think you should also be a realist as well. Yeah.
Okay, I will take it with.
You have to. You have no choice, actually.
Before then, can I ask you a question? You said you held the position in 2021.
2022 academic year.
Yes. So why, if we are to do the calculations, it's a bit behind?
Sure.
Why is that? Or you don't want to talk about?
Well, I think generally, I came here in the 2020 I think 20. I completed SHS in 2019, 2020, and I came the next year. But when I got to level 200, normally you were supposed to go to level 300 just like that. But then I had a medical interference. So as a result of that, I had to defer for one academic year. You understand what I'm trying to say?
I'm sorry.
Exactly. Well, it's not actually a sad thing though. Exactly. But I mean, it's part of the whole journey. So as a result of that, I had to come thereafter. So my friends or my mates have actually completed. You understand? That is why it's a bit behind. Even though I started politics quite much earlier. You get it? So that is the whole thing. I'm sure that is why you are trying to do the calculation.
Yeah.
But I held the appointment was given to me in first year. But I started the work in second year.
First year student.
Yes.
Which the position you had was?
SRC Warfare Chairman. Well, you can have such an appointment in first year, just that you can't contest in first year.
Okay.
You can have appointment in first year, but you can't run for the office of an office in first year.
Then what could you have done to earn you such a position?
Well, I think I always say that it is the credibility, it is the integrity, and how you position yourself. You understand? I feel like if you make people get to know what you can do at a very early stage, I don't think they are going to judge or they are going to misappropriate your integrity and your credibility. One thing is that because they knew my background, they know that I come from a cloth of leadership, and I actually have this sense of, leadership has actually blazed, continuously. It wasn't so much of a difficult thing. And I held the position and I handled it just like somebody who has been in the school for a long time would hold it. Normally, SRC Warfare Chairman is given to final year students because it's a position that is really demanding. You work with the University Sanitary Office, sometimes University Welfare Services Board meeting, you'll be a member. But then, so you should be, but then because of my background and me putting myself in that leadership, it really helped me. Exactly. So I would say that it's just it's just accumulation of my experiences and the energy that came together to make it work.
And speaking of your interest in politics and all that, do you have any national political party that you really have that affiliation to, like you really have that interest?
For sure. For sure. I think I always say that, I think back in our homes, our parents have been saying, a child who always says that, who has been pointing to cars, oh, I like this car, I like this car, this car means definitely that child would want to buy a car in the future. So I feel like, whatever that I want to do in the future, this is the beginning of it. I believe it starts somewhere. There are some top-notch politicians in Ghana who started definitely from student politics and then they've gone to the mainstream politics. So I really have that ambition.
Welcome back from our short break. So the conversation still continues, right? So, Jerome, yes. Last year, you were supposed to have your vetting process and then the election come on.
For sure.
But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. So can you tell us something a bit about the vetting process?
Well, for sure. I think vetting process, it's not even the legitimate way is that it's actually a proceeding to help scrutinize and then screen the aspirants to know what they have, their mindset, whether they're actually good for the position they are contesting. And we went through the process and everything was actually fine. Those who are supposed to be in it are in it, and then everything was fine. Until the vetting results came out and a whole lot of cacophonic reactions came out after that. But the core reason that didn't make the election come up was principally the fact that it's alleged that there are some irregularities within the electoral commission, making the commission to be dissolved in the first place. And then it was also alleged that the judicial committee, there was some sort of irregular activity that happened or something. So that is basically why we know, basically that's what we learned the election couldn't come principally because of that. Yeah.
Okay. So do you feel that it also affected you in some way, like these allegations going around? Do you think it affected you, or it didn't really affect your vetting process?
For my vetting process, no.
Okay.
But then for the electoral or the electioneering process, yes. Because now all the people following you are students and they are working with you. And these students leave their books, they leave their studies to come and follow you for campaign and other election proceedings. And now, they follow you. You are done with vetting. They know very well that normal circumstances, the election will come up right afterwards, and then the election doesn't come. When they ask you, you say they've postponed it. The next day they postpone it. It reduces their energy and it makes them feel somehow downhearted. So it affected, the team members in a way or the other. Some of them are studying, and besides, it was very close to election. It was very close to examinations, and it brought a whole lot of reactions which were not so positive. Yes.
That's actually a little sad to see.
Yeah, for sure.
So did you also feel disheartened by it or anything?
Yes, personally, I felt, even though I knew election, a lot of things can come out of it, but I felt disheartened because I'm a student. Regardless, we are all students. I've made up my plans. Sometimes you can even go the whole semester without actually learning. And you make plans knowing very well that, okay, by this time election will come up, I would have some 2-3 weeks to actually study 24/7 on my books. And it comes, and even in examination week, we are still arguing whether the election will come off or not. It went against plans, and it was not actually very positive. It affected us. All of us. Personally, it affected me as well. Basically.
Oh, that must be frustrating.
Of course, you can imagine.
You were vetted in, right?
Yes, I was. Yeah.
So do you think it was fair bringing all those who were vetted out back into the race?
Well, I believe that the SRC has standards, and if we had maintained the 3 people who had qualified, I believe that much more precedence would have been given to the SRC constitution and the individuals contesting the position, because right now it is creating this sort of mentality that no matter who you are, you can run for the office of the SRC president, because no matter what happens, there is a high possibility, even if the election doesn't come, even if you are vetted out, you will still be brought in. Some people or some aspirants even had as low as 50 something. Some people also had, in fact, a whole lot of marks which were not so encouraging. And if you had participated in some of the vetting process, you can see that clearly some aspirants or some of we the people contesting, in fact, answering questions were somehow even difficult. You understand? So I believe that bringing the people right now, it has in a way or the other, I don't want to say it has reduced the standard, but then anybody at all, whether the person, anybody who has resources can feel that, well, I have resources, I can run for the office of the SRC president. Unlike at first, where if you are coming for the office of the SRC president, one key thing that is going to make you take a step back is the vetting. Now, if it happens now and then that people who are supposed to come in, or people who are supposed to be, cleared off, come in, which means it's not going to help increase the standard, and it's not going to help with the actual people who would come into the office. Because normally, as somebody who is running for the office of the SRC president, or as a candidate, or as an SRC president, there are some qualities you should have. And I always say that the vetting we went in for, you are not passed just because of the questions you're able to answer, whether you know so much about the NUC's constitution or you know so much about the user constitution, sometimes about your confidence. Because the work of the SRC president goes far beyond you just knowing the constitution. Believe me, if an SRC president, you can even choose not to open the user constitution. You can even choose not to open the GUSA constitution, but then you can still succeed. There are some qualities which really play good role, but I feel it happening that way has really gone against the precedence of the SRC and the standard as well.
So how are you going to take it if after the whole electoral processes and then those who were vetted out, one of them appears to be the winner of the general elections?
Well, it is election. And for election, I always say that the unfortunate and the unimagined incident can happen. So far as they are brought in shows that they can contest. You understand? So if anyone who comes out or anyone who comes in comes to win, I am not going to be puzzled. It's not going to be any quizzical, situation. But the one thing we would try to preach is that it is not going to be fine if all people who say I'm going for the office of the SRC president are brought into the game. Because if it happens that way, a time will come if we don't take care, an SRC president will even come in and, sorry to say, he might not even be able to speak good English, and he will still be able, or not even good English, but he might not even have the qualities at all. But the person will be given a max of maybe 19%, and the person will still be qualified to come and contest. If it happens that way, it means that the people who will come into office will not be people who would be presidential assets. There will be people who might come and then they wouldn't be able to function well. They wouldn't be able to actually stand in for the students. One thing I always say is that the work of the SRC president or the SRC goes far beyond you answering the questions at the vetting. Sometimes it's about confidence. Sometimes it's not even about your policies and innovations. Sometimes it's about standing in for the students. Let's say that you go to the management or you go to the MDF and administration and a conversation sparks up. The confidence of you, the SRC president, is going to let the students believe that you're actually fighting for us. Sometimes it's not about doing something monumental, but it's about standing in for them. It's about letting the people know that indeed you're actually speaking and advocating for them. That is what I believe the work of the SRC president should be in the first place.
Okay.
So mentioning English as an SRC leader or SRC president who cannot speak good English, do you think, are you trying to tell us that English is a boundary for a student leader or an SRC leader?
Well,
It's a boundary for everyone.
English, actually, I don't know if I can say English should be a boundary. But the thing is that normally you can't go to any formal meeting and be speaking any local dialect. You understand? And I believe that anybody who speaks good English is one who is known to possess confidence. So if the articulation, if there are irregularities or if there are misfortunes with the articulation, how would the message be propagated in the first place? You've gone in there, when you go to the University Council meeting like this, the people there, it's not going to be Chi or Dagare or Gan they are going to speak. They are going to speak English. Mind you, some of them some of them are even government appointees. And they might not even understand any other local dialect apart from English. So I'm not saying that automatically English is something students should base on to vote, but then the articulation and the confidence possessed or reflecting in the articulation should also count. Because good English, I believe, is equal or is identical to confidence in a way or the other. Yes.
So, moving away from the vetting process and then the qualities of an SRC president, the election process didn't come through, like it didn't come on. So, can you tell me how that's, like how you felt about that, like what you think happened? Can you just tell us something about it? I just want to see how you view that.
Something with regards to the election not coming off.
Yeah.
Honestly, everything that we know right now is alleged. Let me be honest with you. I don't have any substantial evidence to back all the claims, even though this, just as I said earlier that it was alleged that there are irregularities, among or within the commission, which made the commission to be dissolved, and a whole lot more. You understand? In fact, even though the judicial committee sat on some of them, some sat on some cases, and a whole lot, but I would say that because I don't know much, I wouldn't be able to say so much about it. But one thing that I'm looking up to is for the election to come up very soon. We get elected into office so that the plans we have, we execute them for the benefit of the student who are electing it into office, and the major stakeholders, that is the student as well, for sure.
Wow.
So now that's like you just said, alleged. Now they are saying there are rumors that freshers are also going to be allowed to vote. How do you take that?
Honestly, I think it is a blow to the face of every aspirant, or I'll say candidate at this point, that freshers are going to vote. But the thing is that we were told we went to meet some of the officials, some of the principal officers of the university, and we were told last semester that freshers coming are going to vote. So personally, I feel every aspirant, the last meeting we had showed that freshers who are yet to come in are going to vote. So personally, when I heard about it, I wasn't so surprised. But the only thing I'm supposed to do right now is about 2 weeks to election. 2 weeks to election. And if it's 2 weeks to election and I'm now thinking of whether freshers are going to vote. Is it going to be a good advantage? Is it going to be a bad advantage? Or is it going to be disadvantageous? Then I'm not sure I'm being a good candidate. What I'm supposed to do is that I'm supposed to make good use of the system. This is the situation at hand. Freshers are going to vote. I'm supposed to up my game, get a lot of them on board, let them know the plans and what I feel would help the students. And that is my focus right now. Whether freshers are going to vote, I'm not tuning my mind. I feel like putting so much attention to that is going to get me distracted together with my team members. Our goal right now is to let them know what we have inside, the confidence with which we are working with to actually execute what we have in mind. That is my focus right now. And I believe that is what is going to help us build a UMaT SRC that is confident, a UMaT SRC that is substantial, a UMaT SRC that is for the students.
Okay.
For sure.
Well, if you say this, I would actually believe what you say because I've seen you on campus from the first day. I think that was 16th or 17th.
17.
Yes, 17th. And you've been so busy. The energy. I've seen new banners, like so energy everywhere. You with your vice. Oh,
Richie.
goodness,
Sure.
Richie. And I'm like, okay, where is the energy coming from? Where is all that energy coming from? Because it's like okay. Everyone looks tired. Everyone is tired because you've gone through a whole year of campaigning, of doing everything, the money used, like energy, everything, like a lot of resources went into it for a whole full year. So most people, they're tired. Some are still using their old banners. I came on the 17th, I've seen a new banner, new clothes. In fact, like everything is shining and I'm like, whoa, can you tell us where the energy is coming from?
Well, I think the energy comes from God. I would say that, and then I should say that the preponderance of the brainy individuals that I've had a chance to work with have been a major contributing factor because it's like the whole team. We know where we are going to, and we know that now. We know this time. We believe this is going to be a good year, and we believe that. While freshers are coming in, students have stayed home for about 3-4 months. The dynamics of the elections are going to change because now students who were in first year then are now in second year. Those in third year are now in fourth year, and freshers are even coming in. And now all the aspirants, nobody's holding any position again. You understand? Nobody's holding any position. We are all starting from the ground. So if you're starting from the ground, what do? You're supposed to put in so much energy. That is if you're not tired, but we are not tired. So I believe that because of what we are looking for and because of certain things that we believe are not working, that when elected into office, we want to make or want to ensure that they start working. That is that is rationale, that is the inspiration we are gaining to keep pushing. That is why now I can boldly say we really are working and the things that, the atmosphere is conducive for us. And I can boldly tell you that the few days ahead is going to be fire.
Wow, I can actually feel the confidence.
God is with us. God is with us.
So I want to know your ambitions and your plans for the institution because UMaT is getting bigger and bigger, and then we have to know your plans for the SRC, for the student body, for the entire student body. So what do you think?
Not leave him campaigning to our viewers?
Oh no, let us give him the opportunity to also
Campaign.
tell us what his visions are for the entire student body.
Okay, so I would say that with regards to the plans I have for the students' body, I say that I go by pragmatism, honesty, and relentlessness. Typically because I believe that anything that is theoretical that you talk about, when elected into office, everything is supposed to be converted into something practical, something that is going to be seen, whether administrative or monumental, for the benefit of the students. And I'm going by honesty because I know I've been in the SRC before, and I know how complicated SRC could be. In fact, I'm going to be honest with the student regardless of my situation. If I have a limitation, I'm going to be honest with them and communicate to them. And I go by relentlessness also because I know how difficult it is to work in the SRC. Very, very difficult. So one thing that I'm going to do is that I'm going to be resilient enough to ensure that all that I want to do, I'm going to push well. That resilient mentality to propel forward and to propel me and help me to push forward. I believe you understand. Now, with regards to my plans, I have actually categorized a lot of them into different ways. governance, capacity building, academics, and a lot more. So I think, I'm not sure, let me discuss few, okay? So with the government, what we are going to do is that we are going to ensure that appointment extends to ladies as well. Currently, the population of the ladies is actually increasing. A good number of the students here in UMaT are ladies. We want to ensure that we bring some sort of gender balance and inspire leadership in women as well, and ensure that we work things well for the benefit of the student. One other thing I think governance we want to do is I want to really review the SRC constitution, in the sense that I don't know why the SRC president should have the power to choose the speaker and the chief justice as well. Believe me, the SRC constitution is in alignment with the constitution of Ghana. But if the president is choosing the speaker, choosing the chief justice, what does it mean? It means that he is taking control of all the three arms of the SRC, which hampers progress. Because Ghana constitution, the speaker is appointed, they vote at the parliament. And then even the chief justice go through a whole lot of constitutional process. We are going to work on that for the benefit of the students. So if I'm switching to, let me say, capacity building, something like this, we want to bring something we call shaping the inner you, that is style project. And this is going to help add value to the student. We believe that it's not just about completing with an A4 sheet written on it, Bachelor of Science, blah, 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 so and so. You should have something more. I always say to people that if you go to the market and you're going to buy tomatoes, what are you looking for? When you go to where the tomato lane is, you don't find one person selling tomatoes. You find a lot of women seated there selling tomato. But what do? You can even walk by, scrutinize them. Look, we even scan to an extent that the outfit the person is wearing, we even check before buying the person's foodstuff. That is the same thing when students go to the job market. You're not the only one studying computer engineering. You're not the only one studying petroleum engineering. You're not the only one studying economics. So what are you going to add to yourself that the people out there, the job market, would appreciate you and see you to be an asset? So shaping the inner you, we are going to help students to include graphic design, IT, and media studies, any other thing we are going to include it. And then with women as well, we are going to bring moments with big women, where we are going to help women get a chance to talk with other women who have made it so that it works well for them. One other thing that is also a big challenge is internet. Honestly, right now, the anthem of the day is network issues and internet accessibility problems. Believe me, I was even telling someone that even if your phone was manufactured and assembled in heaven and was brought to you in a form of manna, you are still going to get complication with network issues. So when elected into office, we've made a survey actually, and we realized that they put some of the wiring cables underground and the galamseyers destroyed them. But the thing is that as leaders, we are supposed to look at innovative ways of ensuring that things work well for our people. So when elected into office, we have in mind to bring another reliable internet accessibility, that is Wi-Fi. So across all the four walls of the university, there's going to be Wi-Fi for students.
So, Jerome, can you tell us something about the IMC? A lot of people have been hearing IMC, but they don't really know what they are about. Something brief. We should wrap up. It's almost time.
IMC, that is Interim Management Committee. IMC is some sort of, let me say, leadership that is given to students while they are waiting for the substantial council. So they are ensuring, they are like the John the Baptist, okay? They are clearing the way for the actual Jesus to come, okay? So they are paving the way so that that SRC executives would actually come. So that's basically about the IMC.
Well, our John the Baptist has decided to put the election date on Val's Day, 14th February. And how do you feel about that? Because 14th February is supposed to be a day for love and, having fun and all of those things, not for elections and politics. So how do you feel about that?
Well, I think it brings some sort of mixed feeling, because I know while other people will be thinking about cakes, flowers and toffees, we'll be thinking about pulling agents and ballot papers and a whole lot. In fact, but I think one thing is that the terms of reference, every committee has its own terms of reference. The terms of reference for the IMC is that the election, the handing over is supposed to be in 6 weeks or in 5 weeks. I think in 6 weeks, yeah. So if it's in 6 weeks and we are voting in the 4th or 5th week, I think it's still logical. It's whether the election will come off or it wouldn't come off at all. So with the time, I think it's okay. We will be prepared and we will come. And that should tell the student that they should come and show us love, okay?
Okay.
They said they should come and show us love.
Do you have plans for Val's Day before the date was given?
Honestly, I didn't have any plan for Val's Day, dude.
Was it going to be a normal day?
It was actually going to be a normal day.
Ow.
It was actually not mine. I mean, it's actually going to be a normal day. But I think now that the election is on Thursday, it's going to be a double celebration.
Double celebration.
Yes.
Okay, I can
We are
feel you.
declared. I mean, we'll celebrate the Vows Day in the midnight. Exactly, just like that. Exactly.
Okay, all right, sure. Thank you very much for coming to our show today, and I really appreciate everything, and then your answers and everything. That was very insightful.
Thank you.
And don't forget to subscribe and follow us for more. And again, we are at Fond Cafeteria, which is located in UMaT campus, Takwa. Thank you very much.